Hello, my name is Minji Kim from LBStech. Today, I would like to introduce the GI service, a smart city platform for the visually impaired or for the physically impaired. In today's presentation, I will explain the current problems of smart cities, which include the changing status of the disabled due to the new normal, solution that we think of, their demonstration, and the objectives of smart city that we think of. If you look at the current status of smart cities by country, each has its own focus, such as energy, mobility, environment sector. As you can see, it is natural that there is a main area depending on the smart city and their tendency, but we can see that the field of welfare is relatively weak or less focused. In particular, since welfare is an area that is directly felt by people, it can play a very important role in understanding smart cities and also in areas where smart cities are with citizens. When you're looking at the recognition rate about smart city, about 27% respondents say that they know what is smart city. The rest say they don't know much about the concept. So we focused on this. In conclusion, we believe that in order to become a smart city that puts people at the center, not technology, people should be the center of a city that recognizes, understands, and solves problems. From that perspective, we started to think more about welfare, especially for the disabled, in relation to a barrier-free city. As you can see, for disabled, a city is actually difficult even to access. Therefore, we believe that smart city should become a barrier-free city that disabled can easily access. With that in mind, we're concentrating on services for the disabled. As seen here, following the COVID-19 outbreak, we have witnessed increases in QR code authentication, immediate disaster messages, and the number of non-face-to-face related technologies. But how do the disabled feel about these technologies? Rather, I think the advancement of these technologies can be another discrimination or barrier to them. I have a friend who is suffering from visual impairment. He actually uses a smartphone much better than me. I thought that if you look at the visually impaired, you think they know Braille well, but for most of the visually impaired, more than 90% are the acquired handicapped. For example, many became disabled due to an accident or illness, and this is the case for my friend as well. It is impossible for such people to learn Braille actually. Most of them get information through their smartphones, but the funny thing is that it is very difficult to get information on just a building standing in front of you. They can know information about Paris and France or other distant countries, but they cannot know about something in front of me. So we focused on this. Another thing that motivated me was that some visually impaired usually take welfare taxes, but sometimes they take general taxes. The general taxes dropped one visually impaired just about 5 meters away from his home, but he couldn't find his home and wandered for 3 hours. The value of the information to visually impaired must be great. With that in mind, we felt a significant need to study it and started working on this. So naturally, in this way, we have made something necessary for them by thinking from their standpoint, while we concluded that in order for them to easily access the city, the key is to have better navigation, ordering, and payment. So we are concentrating and work on them. So we think about what the city means to disabled. When you talk to them about smart cities, they feel vague about it. Even for existing cities, the disabled have difficulty even accessing them. So, a smart city that feels like a cutting edge and enormous cities for us does not seem that easy for disabled. So, we first need to make a city accessible for them. If they can access it, the usability will increase. If they use it a lot, they can be satisfied with the city. I thought that is the right concept of a smart city. Since we want a city which should be shared with the disabled together, we put them not only at the foundation of technology, but also involve them in all fields of technology design through the concept of Living Lab. Through Living Lab, we developed the service together. We created a scenario and tried to test mobility and usability in practice. We continued to figure out what was wrong and what was accessible and make development. For 2 years, we have tried to meet and hear from disabled such as those with visual and physical disabilities about what they really need. After that, what we thought has been constantly changed. They are the center of development to make sure to develop services they actually need, not as research topics or concepts. We have continuously worked to make a system that can actually be helpful, which is GI, our outcome. Our system is called a one-flow system. In fact, we have created a flow in which disabled move, place orders, and make payments. So, disabled can order directly through their smartphones, make payments, reservations, and receive information about moving services so that they can actually get help for walking. And you can think of it as a one-flow system in which you can get building information and even entrance information of the building. Each service can be divided into 2 categories, and the first is mobility service. As for mobility, our system provides the information about walking or movement in real time in the form of voice or vibration to suit the characteristics of the disabled, including the visually impaired and physically handicapped. What we are providing is a mobility service that even allows visually impaired to provide information on the routes that they often go or can go easily through the data they have created based on their experience. The information can be easily acquired not only by sound but also by vibration. The second is usability service. They are not literally the target that we need to help, but as an economic agent, they can place orders and make payments. Their orders and payments are linked to the actual store. So, they can actually place orders and payments at the store to take out or receive order items directly, which was made into a system covering the entire flow for user service. Of course, the service is directly linked to the POS system in the store so that the store can welcome and prepare them as a customer. We have continuously developed this mobility and usability through demonstration. First of all, we improved the services related to mobility in 2 major areas in the Seoul metropolitan area. We went to the area called Magok with the visually impaired and tried to improve the right of mobility by continuing to analyze the routes they usually go and the type of walking that caused them difficulties. In addition, we also carried out a series of improvement activities through the demonstration project targeting the section where people with physical disability feel comfortable and where a wheelchair can actually go by moving to Seongnam for almost 6 months. As you can see, we did not create data by ourselves, but we created data with them about the routes that disabled move, the routes where they can use wheelchairs comfortably. So, we are able to get the idea for improvement in routes for the disabled. For example, there are too much vibration on some sidewalks for them to use, or they just walk on the car road because they don't have access to the walkway. We are able to understand this detailed information we did not know will be very helpful so that we are collecting it based on data. In addition, we have checked certain areas from their point of view and shared the results of the checks for the roads that visually impaired usually go. The elderly and non-disabled public also participated to collect data of the walkway by type, and the collected data was again provided to the handicapped to ease their mobility. This is a demonstration project of collection data led by users about mobility. Moving on to the second, it is related to usability. Particularly, it is about what we are currently carrying out in Sejong City. Disabled can directly order and pay and actually generate sales through the linkage of stores so that they can act as an economic agent. We have been doing the same project demonstration in Seromdong for 5 months now. It is not about simple use such as placing an order through a smartphone. Let me tell you this. When we talk about smart city related concept with stores, people say that they want to help the disabled, but they don't know what to do when they enter the store. What if they come and get hurt? They said they don't know what to do. Therefore, we also providing training in the store so that people in the store can directly respond to the visually impaired or physically handicapped. In addition, when disabled place orders at the store, we develop a separate POS system that is linked with them so that they can manage and pay orders directly at the store. We also help the stores correct the braille block that is currently displayed in a wrong way at the entrance and also guide them how to help the disabled in using guidance block to find the entrance a little better. And in order to overcome the limitation of GPS, we are also carrying out a demonstration project related to practical use to provide accurate guidance like an acoustic signal device carried by the disabled. It is not only to induce participation in the store, but also to general users, visually impaired or disabled participate in the store, and it can be seen that these businesses are continuing activities to change their perception. This is what we do as a smart city project to change or improve their perceptions. Not only is it good for the store, but you can see that the sales of the store actually increase and the activities of the disabled are also increases in turn. We think this way. When talking about smart cities, of course, technology is important. It does not mean to say it is bad that cities are being developed and advanced in various forms like auto driving, etc. In fact, if a smart city becomes fair to all or disabled can participate as an economic entity and as a member of a city, I think that is truly a barrier-free city, smart city for all. The city can provide services that anyone can enjoy or can provide, and disabled are provided with services such as the last mile or the first mile services, where they can arrive in front of the house using public transportation, as well as simpler information related to walking. In conclusion, we aim to become a truly barrier-free city that makes a city accessible to disabled. In this way, I think that's a smart city where citizens are the leading force of a certain solution, and citizen-centered is probably a people-centered smart city that I want. And we want to create a standard called K-Smart City by building such a successful model or a standardized welfare model. So, we're striving to become a smart city, working domestically, but also go abroad, representing Korea. For example, regarding walkway, it is not easy. As for various phenomena occurring in the walkway, we're not simply analyzing the condition, but also analyzing the situation according to specific weather conditions based on variables so that the disabled can really walk. We will not put technology at the center. Rather, we solve problems with them. We LBStech will work with them by using technology focusing on the disabled, not the other way around. Everywhere accessible to everyone. LBStech. Thank you.